Ryan from SOS Physiotherapy. Today I want to talk to you guys about squatting. Squatting is a great exercise for any time that you're trying to load the lower extremity or reintroduce some load to the spine following a lower back injury. I find that after an injury, or if you've never tried squatting before, people are often apprehensive about going through the movement. So today I want to talk about 3 easy tips to help your form to make sure that you're squatting safely and injury-free. So the first thing I want to talk about with the squat is the actual depth of the squat. And the reality is, with this movement, it's going to look a little bit different dependent on who's performing it. You want to go through the full range of squat that you have available to you before your lower back and your pelvis start to round out. And so I'll demonstrate what that would look like. So for me, if I squat my bum all the way to the floor, you'll start to see at the bottom of this movement now, my lower back and my pelvis are rounded quite excessively. This is not necessarily something that's bad, but if you're going to be loading your squat, certainly with a barbell and doing heavier weight, or even just doing a body weight squat and going through high repetitions, it's a position where the back is a little bit more prone to injury. So it's something that you'd want to avoid, certainly if you're recovering from an injury. Instead, you want to ensure that you stay within the range where when you get to the bottom of your squat, your back and your pelvis are nice and flat and neutral. And so you can see that's about that position there for me. But again, for other people, you may only get to that position before your lower back starts to round out, and that's totally fine. The next point I want to cover with the squat is knee alignment. When we're squatting, ideally our hips, our knees, and our feet should be stacked in nice, neat alignment. A common error when people are squatting is that as they descend through the squat, knees will often come together like I'm demonstrating now. This places an undue amount of stress on the knee joints and is a common cause for knee pain when people are squatting. To correct this, it's really simple. You just need to activate the muscles around your butt. And by doing that, as you descend through the squat, you'll find that your knees, much more readily, stay out over the middle of the foot. A good thing to look for is making sure that your kneecap is tracking roughly in line with about your first or second toe. So again, as you descend, your knees should be staying a little bit more central to the foot. The last thing that we'll talk about today with squatting is just where to carry our weight. Of course, we want to carry our weight evenly on our left foot and our right foot so that it's central that way, but we also want to think about keeping our weight central front to back. And so a common cue that people will have or hear about when they're squatting is, oh, make sure you're driving through your heels. And this is done with the intention to make sure that we're activating some of the muscles around our buttock, but really our weight should be centered kind of toe to heel, so that when we squat down, we can keep our foot firmly planted flat on the ground. If I carry my weight too far backwards over my heels, it's very easy to start to tip backwards and have my toes lift off the ground as I get to the bottom of my squat. On the flip side, if my weight's too far forward, you'll see that as I come down, my knees start to come past my toes and then my heels immediately come up off of the floor. So again, these aren't necessarily awful things, but if we're going to be loading a squat with weight or doing high repetitions of this movement, we want to ensure that we can get through that, feet flat on the floor, weight centered, toe to heel. So today we discussed 3 really easy tips to help improve the form in your squat. Give these a try next time you're doing body weight squats at home or loaded barbell squats at the gym. Whether you're returning to squatting from an injury or trying squatting for the very first time, I think these tips are really going to help to ensure that your form is clean and that you're squatting injury-free.